Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are here from the Big Apple here in Manhattan, New York. I am DJ Kilgannon. With me in the booth, give a warm welcome to Andrew Gibson, as well as our statisticians, Ellie Diomas, our commissioner, Justin Reside, our statistician, along with Eddie Gay, J.W. Hartshorn, our deputy commissioner, in the booth with us as well, and our producer, Alex West, making all of this possible. Thank you all very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great game for you today. New York hoping to bounce back after a very rough loss last week. Oregon hoping to continue what has been a reign of dominance so far. Andrew, welcome in, my friend, and let me know what you're thinking about this game.
I'm really excited to see how this goes. I've been doing some studying on these teams. Oregon, really good win last week. Their quarterback played really well. I'm really excited to see the quarterback play and the running game for Oregon as well. So let's see how it goes.
Absolutely. We saw their run-first approach dominate last week in a win over Boston. Boston just couldn't stop the ground game whatsoever. Hopefully New York can, because if they can, it's going to be a long evening. Oregon will start with the ball. Let's get it going. A nice return puts them to the 28. Let's look at this Oregon offense. Led by John Ingles, the quarterback, their halfback Jim Hood and Sean Alexander, their fullback Max Strong, their receivers Corin Robinson, Daryl Jackson, Bobby Ingram, and Alex Bannister, tight ends Matt Fennick Jr. and Jeremy Stevens will get to the line after this play. A little bit of motion in the backfield from the fullback, kicking him from left to right. That's a run up the middle. Hood will get the first look, and he's met in the backfield. That's a loss of one right out of the gate.
I mean, what a play there. It was well read by that defensive line, not getting fade. It looked like Jim Hood tried to cut back there, but New York was ready for it.
Vane Richter, development player from Oklahoma City. We'll be watching the Richter scale all night to see his impact. See some motion from Oregon. Defensive back follows him across the field. I believe that's Jeff Burris. Ingles will throw. Plenty of time. Stays calm over the top. That one is caught. Great throw to Corin Robinson with the catch.
Corin Robinson wide open. I mean, tough throw in tight window, but a nice throw regardless. Nicely played. Fit it in between three. Nice throw.
Yeah, he stayed very calm in the pocket. Couldn't have done much better there. Rogers Beckett, the one to come over the top and make the stop. This offensive line for Oregon, who made that great play. Floyd Womack, Zach Wonders playing down from Chicago, Robbie Tobeck, Steve Hutchinson, and Walter Jones. I want to pitch to the outside. Hood gets met, and again a loss on the play. Mike Alberts, the leader of this defense, makes a big play.
Seems like Alberts has this team dialed up easily and well placed on the stop.
Oregon, another offset I form here. New York playing nickel as Oregon narrows towards the 50. Another run up the middle. Hood again tackled for a 1-yard loss. Man, what a change of pace we're seeing from this Oregon rushing attack from last week. Whew.
New York seems to have them dialed up, man. This run defense really stifling so far.
The play here, Ingles forced to throw deep over the middle. Oh, man, what a play there. That was Rogers Beckett, who nearly had a pick, but athletically is able to bat that one down.
Nearly jumped up and picked that. That would have been reminiscent of last week. We saw some crazy picks in last week's games. That would have been one right there.
Absolutely would have. Punt here from Oregon. So already we're seeing New York's defense make a difference here as, their offense comes out to a stiflingly slow start. But that's going to happen sometimes. It's just, shocking to see with how dominant they were last week. 3 rushes for Hood, -3 yards already. Now here comes Joseph Lama II, joined back in January, leading this New York offense after they lost a good bit of their talent. Brady Hendricks, their quarterback from last year. I form here for the Gargoyles. He drops back. Lama, plenty of time, surveys, fires it to the right side. That one's caught. Great composure. Ron Duggins with the catch.
It was a nice little cutback route from the receiver. It was a well-placed ball. And, well, that safety just backed off. That corner backed off a little too much, but nice throw there from Joseph Lama.
Completely agree with you there. Like we said, Lama the quarterback, Elbrin Jacks, Rudy Johnson your halfbacks, Chris Edmonds your fullback. A lot of I-form looks here for the Gargoyles, utilizing every back they have. That one's going to be a pitch to the outside. A nice block, and he gets past, keeps going. And the small spark of lightning in that backfield, the 5'7" Elbrin Jacks breaks a few tackles to fight for 5.
Elbrin Jacks looked at Oregon's rushing attack on the first drive and said, hey, this is how you do it right here. Showing him how it's done early.
Another offset eye here. Another run up the middle. He's going to get, broken tackle there.
Nah.
Only the corner to beat, and he gets brought down inside the 30-yard line. That was Ken Lucas who eventually wrangled him down. But Rudy Johnson able to slip off the tackle from the linebacker, and he had a ton of grass to run through.
Absolutely. Just broke off and said, hey, you got to try a little harder than that. Nice run there from Rudy Johnson.
Yeah, and that was the leader of their defense, J.C. Wallace Jr. there on that tackle that got broken. And if he's missing tackles, it's scary to see what the rest of this defense will be able to do, because he is certainly the stalwart for this defensive side of the ball. Another run between the tackles. He does make the play that time, but another 5-yard gain for Jackson Company.
A little more tame there from Jax, but hey, it works. I mean, you don't always got to win the game with long runs. You just got to make it work, and that's what Jax did on that play.
Split backs here for the Gargoyles. Very heavy set box for Oregon. They pitch it to the outside. Oh, a little shimmy shake with the corner. He fights ahead, and they'll call it 3rd and 1 as the nice run by Rudy Johnson makes it 3rd and short.
Yeah, Rudy Johnson tried to make a man miss there. Didn't quite work as expected, but hey, it worked. Hey, next play, man.
We go with the same look here from both sides of the ball. They hand it off right up the middle in Elbrin Jacks. Pinballs off of a few defenders, but he's well past the first down marker.
Elbrin Jacks looking like a bowling ball out there early. 14 on 3 carries so far. He's looking pretty good.
Gonna have to start calling Elbrin Jacks tiny there, because he is just a small individual. That run not going to get much. They still call it a gain of 2, though. Nice tackle there from Godfrey.
Yeah, to your comment about Elbrin Jacks, he kind of reminds me of a Maurice Jones-Drew type, small running back, but he can still make plays when he needs to.
Completely agree with you there. They're using Jacks a lot more than they did last week. They kicked Hushmanzada out of the backfield, and I think it's working out in their favor, because right now Elbrin Jacks is running with some ferocity that we haven't seen from anyone on this New York side of the ball.
He's running with some ferocity indeed. Another split backs look here.
They keep going to that well, and Oregon keeps bringing 5 people to the line of scrimmage, and they still can't stop it. The linebackers cheating up a little bit. They'll actually kick Rudy Johnson out to the left to make it a pair of receivers to that side. No one follows. It'll be a throw for Lama. Surveys. Oh, gets a hand on it. Nice play there. Orlando Huff from behind makes the play.
Huff almost had that one. That almost looked like what we talked about pregame. That was almost picked, and you gotta pick that off if you're Huff.
4th and 4 here, going to be the 10th play for the Gargoyles. Just over 4 minutes to go, and they are well within field goal range for kicker Ron Van Cleef, playing down from D.C., where he's had a very nice career. It should be all but money here for the Gargoyles. And it is. They'll take the early lead in this one after a very well-sustained, methodical drive for the Gargoyles. They've been in the SFLm for 2 seasons now, and this has never really been their approach to the game. They're either, heavy power runs with Dominic Kane or completely airing it out with G to G. We've never seen them with a 2-headed backfield of smaller backs like this. See that change of pace from them, and it's working well for them because Oregon is not an easy team to beat. Head coach Zach Benjamin clearly did his homework and has a nice game plan he's putting into scene here. Let's look at this New York defense as they come out onto the field. Carl Powell, Justin Smith, Oliver Gibson, and John Thornton, your defensive line. Vane Richter, Brian Simmons, Mike Alberts, and Kevin Hardy, your linebackers. Your safeties, Rogers Beckett, Kevin Casey-Hearn. Fill out that defensive back core. So Oregon's going to pitch that one to the outside. Hood gets brought down for a loss again. Andrew, that's 4 in a row from this New York defense.
Jeez. New York's D is absolutely stifling right now. If I were Oregon, I'd try to switch up or make an adjustment because running that play is just not working for Oregon right now.
Yeah, New York clearly saw that their run heavy look last week was dominant, and they took notes because they are doing such a good job at stopping it so far. That run up the middle, though, gives them some positive yardage. The first on the day for Jim Hood, that's 4.
Jim Hood making it look relatively solid, but you can't stop him every time. He's going to break through eventually.
5 attempts, no yards now after that positive gain. 3 stand-up receivers to the bottom side of the line for Ingles. He will throw. Plenty of time. Fires it to the right. Oh, that one slips past the receiver and hits the hands of the defensive back, Dennis Weathersby, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that was a bit of a risky ball thrown by Ingles. But I mean, if you're a defensive back, you had 3 guys there. Someone's got to pick it off.
Yeah, completely agree with you there. It hit him right in the hands. And, I mean, you got to be able to take advantage of that because Ingles isn't going to throw too many errant passes like that. That'll be a fair catch at the 45 here for New York. And let's take a look at this receiving core for them. Nick Popovich, TJ Hushmanzada, Ron Dugans, Kelly Washington, their receivers, Matt Schobel and Sean Brewer, their tight ends, Jimmy James, Scott Rehberger, Mike Goff, Matt O'Dwyer, and Willie Anderson fill out that offensive line for the Gargoyles, who had a very nice first drive. And again, this one gets hit behind the line, but still able to gain 5 for Jax.
And Jax just said, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, and carries him forward for 5. What a run there.
I got to start calling him Mr. Tiny there because he is just a ball of energy, and he is mean. I-form New York. Oregon going to run that that nickel look, excuse me. That one not going to get much at all. Met in the backfield for a loss.
Nice stop there. I believe that was Anthony Simmons. Nice hit there.
A pair of Oregon defenders got in the backfield very quickly. You do have trips to the top side here for Joseph Lama II. He'll drop back. A ton of time, moves to his left a bit, fires to the left, nearly pulled in with one hand. Ron Dugans had a chance to make a huge play, but that one falls to the ground. New York unable to keep the momentum they had from that first drive, but Oregon will have the ball back and hoping to change the rhetoric of this ball game a bit because they have certainly been struggling in a massive way right now. Their last drive was 4 and out. The drive before that, they were only able to run 6 plays before things got shut down. I think like you said, Andrew, they need to pass a little more.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to pass a little more. Maybe mix up the playbook a little bit. Maybe try to go for some medium pass plays or just something like that. But whatever they're doing now is not working.
And cut the tosses out. They're reading on it every time.
Agree. Absolutely agree.
This offset eye, certainly going to see a run once again. We will see that toss. Hood gains 1 before he's brought down.
And once again, another toss play. I mean, I'm fine with keeping the toss play in the playbook, but just start mixing up the game a little bit. Start throwing the ball a little more.
And for sure, keep the defense on their toes. So right now they're expecting all run, and that's what they're getting. Another one will come. Jim Hood gets hit early, but he fights ahead. He makes it third manageable.
Hood just bruising forward. Another few yards after contact there.
We'll talk about these backs. Polar opposites, really. Jim Hood, 6'2", 250. Elbrin Jacks, 5'7", 200 pounds. 50 pounds less than the other side. That one is caught. There we go. They throw a little bit, and it works. That one's Daryl Jackson.
Daryl Jackson just finding a window in the defense. Nice ball there from Ingles. Nicely done. That's what we like to see.
Closing in on a minute here in this first quarter. Oregon may have a sign of life there with that pass. Back to this look. They do motion out of it this time, though. That's Bobby Ingram moving his way to the other side of the line. Ingles will throw. Throws it to that side, and the receiver just gets leveled as the ball gets there. Rogers Beckett has been all over the field for New York.
Beckett's been all over the field. This secondary, this run-stopping defense, New York's defense is really stepping it up right now.
Yeah, they sure are. They didn't have too crazy of a day last week. They did their job, not enough to get the win, but they're really showing out in this one, better than we've seen them play all season, at least in that last game. Pass here from Ingles again. Pressure to his back, but that one is caught. Nice throw over the middle. Led him perfectly away from the defender, and Corin Robinson makes the athletic catch.
Corin Robinson making it look easy.
Quick 3-step drop, and like we said, the pressure was coming around his right side, but he threw the ball as soon as it needed to. The slant gave a lot of separation there from Robinson, and that play does put them past the 50-yard line. Sticking with this formation, it seems every play is coming out of it now. We do have some more motion. That's Alex Bannister making it a pair of receivers out to the outside. Jeff Burris follows. Run up the middle, stopped after a gain of 2.
Richter again, that Richter meter really showing up early.
It sure is, and that will be the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. A slow first quarter, but still 3 quarters of ball game left to be played. I'm DJ Kilgannon. With me in the booth for his first SFLm broadcast is Andrew Gibson. Give him a warm welcome in the chat. Thank you to Alex, our executive producer, our statisticians, Justin Reside and Eddie Gage. And thank you to Ellie Diomas and J.W. Hartshorn as well in the broadcast truck. Ingles going to drop back 3 steps, fires that one over the middle once again. A pair of New York defenders able to make sure Daryl Jackson doesn't pull that in.
Jackson looked like he got leveled on that play, but good defense there by New York.
They weren't going to make that easy to catch for sure. Switching things up a little bit, they have 3 stand-up receivers to the top side of the formation here for Ingles. He will throw. Pressure's there, but he gets it off, and it's off the hands of Bobby Ingram and falls incomplete.
That would have been impressive. It looked like Ingles kind of got hit there as he threw the ball, but almost brought in by Bobby Ingram.
That was the longest drive of the day for the Oregon Waves, but still unable to get past even the 45. They have been very, very slow offensively to start, and New York is taking advantage of it with the early lead. A booming punt. Hits right at the 5, but they get a good bounce. And that'll be called to the 20. A lot of leg there from Rodney Williams.
Thought for a second there that was going to be down to the 1.
It looked like it. If they got a lucky bounce, maybe, but no luck. New York's not going to get that lucky in this one. Maybe not yet. Ton of bodies near the line of scrimmage for Oregon. New York will split back, so it'll be a pass. Lama connects over the middle. Easy peasy for the first down. That's TJ Hushmanzada getting his first catch.
Looked like a simple little post route, just cut toward the middle of the field. Nice throw from Lama, and Hushmanzada making it look easy.
That was Simmons in the zone. And yeah, like you said, the post, such a hard cut, just completely throws him off his track. Another split backs look here. It's nickel this time for the Waves. Looks like Wallace Jr. and Randall Godfrey in the middle. And Mr. Tiny breaks it to the outside. He gains half the distance. They'll call it 2nd and 5 after the run.
Auburn Jacks with 21 on 5. He's looking scrap. He might be small, but he is scrappy. I'll give him that.
Exactly right. He's got fight. That is for sure. Nice one once again. They will pitch it again to the outside. They'll call it 4 as Rudy Johnson gets the look. We're seeing almost a perfectly split backfield right now for the Gargoyles. 6 carries for Jacks. I believe that is Johnson's 5th. Might be 4th. So just right there with each other, splitting carries almost perfectly. So you're going to see a similar look now. And that one's up the middle. Jacks not even contested. Nears the 50 before he's even touched.
Jack says whatever Johnson. It's almost like they're having a competition back there.
Right.
Jack and Johnson, just whatever you can do, I can do better. They're just having. They just look like they're having fun with it out there.
They sure are. 66 combined on the day for their 2 backs. Oregon's defense needs to slow them down somehow. They're playing here for Lama in this offense. There we go, slowing things down. That's a tackle for loss by the safety, Jojo Vasquez, who's had a huge start to the season. He's leading the tackle game by a huge margin.
Vasquez all over him there.
4 straight tackles for Vasquez on the last 4 plays, that one being for loss. Lama, a ton of time over the middle, caught! Oh, the Florida fumble, assuredly going to be reviewed and called incomplete. But who else but Jojo Vasquez was the one to force that ball out?
I don't know, man, but I'm gonna say it looked like he. I don't know. Looked like a fumble to me, but we'll see if we get the flag here.
We will see a challenge.
Yeah, there you go.
Zach Benjamin not happy about the call. Going to get another look. Right now, though, Oregon will have the ball. Marcus Trufant was the one to dive onto it. And like we said, Jojo Vasquez, the one to force it. So for now, he has a forced fumble, but I do believe that's going to get switched to an incomplete pass. We'll get another look at it here. A late route there from Chris Edmonds, the fullback. Just as he catches it, it gets hit out. I don't know. I guess that depends on if he got enough steps before he was hit.
Looked like he got 2 steps and then popped.
It will be overturned. Zach Benjamin happy with the challenge and the call. Correction, I should say. And New York will get the ball back, hoping to continue what was a very solid drive for them, but they're going to have to pass once again.
Honestly, I think that was the right call looking back at that replay. It looked like he kind of took 2 steps and then just kind of lost the ball. So I would say good decision there, but to throw the flag.
Look for Oregon again. Lama, real survey, moves out. He's scrambling around in the pocket, fires to the right, way too wide open. Hushmanzada finds himself with 6 feet of space in every direction, and that's the easiest catch he'll ever have.
Where was the secondary on that play? My goodness, Hushmanzada just finding himself wide open. Where was the coverage there? Looks like he just kept going.
Yeah, Ken Lucas, he had a zone well downfield, and he was moving with it, did follow him on the post. And he's certainly going to pay for it as New York enters the SFLm red zone. 4-3 look here for Oregon. A little shift from their defensive line, expecting a run to that side. A little movement from the line. They don't. They get one the other way. Mr. Tiny meets J.C. Wallace Jr., and they'll call it a gain of 5 as he rolls over him.
Big man meets, or a small man meets a movable object is an example of that hit right there.
Yep. Wallace Jr., 5 inches taller Oh, excuse me. I believe he's 7 inches taller and 30 pounds heavier, and yet still got rolled over for a bigger gain. That's Rudy, able to fight for 3 before he's brought down. That's Vasquez again on the tackle. He's already nearing double digits, Andrew, and it's not even the second half.
I think Vasquez is just on a mission tonight. He said whatever his previous game tackle best was, he said we're gonna get out there and we're gonna make it new one tonight. Make a new PR tonight.
He had a huge game last week. That was his first game he's ever played. And in this week, he's almost matching that performance already. Another run up the middle, well past the first before he's met. That's Anthony Simmons who makes the stop. Oregon just getting picked apart by this New York defense. This is the longest play drive of the entire game up to this point, hitting double digits. Another 4-3 look here as they motion over Hushmanzada. Nobody follows. Lama drops back. Pressure's there. He tries to connect over the middle, but a nice hit forces that one to the turf.
I couldn't see who got a body on him, but someone was coming for Lama's head there.
Oh, yeah, the pressure for sure. I think that might have been Brandon Mitchell there on the pressure. I know Randall Godfrey made that nice hit, though, to assure it was incomplete. Another pass going to come from Lama. Enough time! Tries to connect in the back of the end zone, but just not enough space. Hushmanzada finds himself out the back.
Just a bit outside, to quote Major League on that one.
Half of the quarter down here in the second. New York hoping to punch in a touchdown after what's only been a field goal game. Oregon hoping to not break. Pressure's coming for Lama. He has enough time. Connects. Oh, he doesn't! Jojo Vasquez continues what has been a dominant first half.
Vasquez is on a mission. Just sticks with his man and beautifully deflects that ball. Nicely done. Have yourself a day, young man.
One hand is all he needs. It was a nice throw. Tried to lead out in front so that Nick Popovich could pull it in the back of the end zone. But Vasquez, he just ran the route for him pretty much. And that's going to result in another field goal attempt from the Gargoyles. It is up right down the middle, not even a question. Ron Van Cleef continues his scoring performance at the end of that 14-play, 71-yard drive.
Vasquez in chat, put some respect on your name. I would agree with that tonight, man. You're having a day.
Absolutely is. Thank you to everyone in chat. Make sure you hit that like button as you come in, and if you haven't yet, do so now. We'll be doing a giveaway for every like in the next 5 minutes. You will get a pair of air guitar strings, as my old partner Cameron Duty would say. Nice return there. Brings it out to about the 35. And, man, Andrew, like we said, Oregon just needs to get some momentum.
They can't afford to put up a donut at half here. You got to get something on the board, whether just a field goal or not here.
Coaches in the chat already fighting for the rights to Jojo Vasquez. That says something. Offset eye here again. That's the pitch to the outside. Hood gets met by Alberts. That's a gain of 5 there. His, out of all the runs he's had, that one probably his best of the day. It's been a slow start.
Yeah, that was only 1 yard longer than his best, but, I mean, it's small steps. You got to do what you need to do.
Split backs for Oregon. Looks like a very tight 4-3 here from New York. Up the gut to Alexander. They're going to call it at the line. Albert's involved in another play.
Alberts is cooking out there a little bit, I would say.
Last season, he was able to accumulate over 80 tackles, over 20 tackles for loss. He was a finalist for Defensive Player of the Season last season because of how good he played. Another pass here for Ingles off his back foot. Oh, and it's caught! Scrapes it off of the turf. Corin Robinson with the catch.
Robinson, and it looked like they were bringing pressure. Ingles did get hit, but what a grab by Corn Robinson.
Doing
It almost looked like he dove and then got tackled. What a play.
Yeah, putting his body on the line there. Not a great throw from Ingles, but the pressure was there. He had to loft it off his back foot. That's a tough throw and an even tougher catch, but they made it to stay alive. Outside the 40 here is Oregon. They're going to pitch that one to the outside. Hood finally has a little bit of room. They'll call it a gain of 7, and now maybe here's the momentum that Oregon's been looking for.
That was well run there by Hood. Solid run. Move on to the next play. They got to watch the clock, though. There's only 3:30 left. You still have 3 timeouts, but you got to watch the clock here.
Yep, absolutely. Have a little bit of urgency. Looks like 8 and 9 in the box here for New York. And a run to the outside. Alexander breaks off a tackle, enough to gain the first down after he's brought down. Three minutes to go left here in the second quarter, inching ever closer to halftime. Nickel look for New York. Oregon may pitch this to the outside, try and take advantage of the lack of bodies over there. They will, but Albert says it doesn't matter. He meets him at the line, but Hood fights ahead for 2.
Albert's just basically locked onto the ball carrier there, and he said, "You're not going anywhere." Nice tackle.
Yeah, he's meeting him there the majority of the time. He's really the one getting all those stops on those pitch plays. Another nickel look for them. It's going to be a pass this time for Ingles. He pump fakes, rolls out to his left and gets hit. Sack from New York. That is Justin Smith, his first of the season.
Ingles tried to pump fake and get out of that sack, but he did not see big man Justin Smith coming at him. Nice hit.
Yeah, after he made that pump fake and step up, Smith was just out of the peripheral vision there of Ingles, and that just let him get a huge hit on the QB. That tackle was probably yelling, "Ingles, get down!" and it was just too late. 3rd and 14, you're going to need to pass here. They will. Plenty of time for Ingles this time. Moves out to his right, fires it over the middle, meets 3 New York defenders before that one falls to the turf. Alex Bannister, assumedly the target, but nowhere near him as the 2-minute warning sounds here in New York.
I mean, that's basically what you would call that's basically one you just pray doesn't get picked off. I mean, I know he probably wasn't open, but always throwing in triple coverage is a risky play when you have that kind of room.
Yeah. Just got to loft one up there and hope for the best as Rodney Williams will come out to punt again. This one looks like it's going to land just inside the 20. A solid bounce puts it around the 15 as Oregon's defense coming back onto the field. Let's talk about them a little bit. Chad Guy Jr., John Randall, Antonio Cochran, and Brandon Mitchell, your defensive line. J.C. Wallace Jr., Anthony Simmons, and Randall Godfrey, your linebackers, as well as Orlando Huff. Sean Springs, Ken Lucas, Marcus Trufant, your corners. Damian Robinson and JoJo Vasquez, your safeties. Mr. Tiny gets it to the outside. He gets met right at the line. Does gain 1 yard, though. Randall Godfrey with a quick play. Minute and a half here to go in the second quarter. Shift from the line here of Oregon. They will pass. Lama gets it off over the middle. Hauled in by Popovich, his 3rd target and his first catch of the evening.
Popovich, nice little post route once again. That post route, I like how New York's using it. They're using it to go over the middle a lot more and not really doing much else with it, but nice throw there.
Yeah, they're having shallow drags come across as well to pull the attention away from the linebackers. I love the levels concept there. That one a post again, but a nice hit. Damian Robinson forces that one incomplete. The target was Hushman Zada.
If I were New York, I'd watch the clock here.
Yeah, got a minute to go. They do have the lead, but you'd love to escape this quarter with some points. It's not going to be easy, though. They'll need to pick up the tempo quite a bit. Nickel look here for Oregon. Handoff up the middle to the fullback. Gets stopped for a loss of 2. Chris Edmonds had nowhere to go.
Edmonds just ran into a brick wall of Oregon defenders. Not much else to say other than that.
Certainly looks like they'll pass here. It's trips to Lama's left. With a single back in his backfield, it will be a pass. Lama, plenty of time, fires it over the middle, and it's caught. Nick Popovich catches it, and he runs towards that right side, and then eventually gets brought down.
Quick timeout here. I like the strategy from New York. Try to go for that deep pass, use a timeout, and then try to get a little bit closer. I like the strategy here.
I do as well. I form here for New York. They have a stand-up defensive lineman to Lama's left. Nickel look once again. They're finding themselves in that formation quite a bit. Lama, 2-step drop, attacks the left side. That one falls. No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul, but if you're New York, I would adjust the strategy here. Try to play for the field goal.
Yeah, as time is edging closer, I agree with you there. I'd like to see him attack the sideline, maybe around the 30. Try and edge into field goal range, like you said. Lama will throw again. Towards the middle, and it's picked off!
Oh.
Jojo Vasquez turns it back, takes it to the 40, and assures that New York gets no more points.
Wow, Vasquez playing a little tip drill with himself. Tipped it up, snagged it out of the air, and took it back. Nice play from the safety for Oregon.
A huge play. You can see his stats there. Double-digit tackles here in the first half for Jojo Vasquez. A tackle for loss, a pass deflection, and that interception. Wow, what a day. And it's not even over. Oregon's offense will take the field. We'd need something crazy to happen if we want an Oregon touchdown here. They will run. That one's a gain of 2 before Alberts makes the play, and it looks like they're happy going to half.
I mean, if you're Oregon, if you're Oregon, it's probably not too bad, but that interception by Velasquez might give him some momentum going into the second half.
Completely agree with you there. At least defensively, for sure, they will call a timeout with 2 seconds left. Might just take a shot downfield. Why not?
Might as well.
Might as well let it fly. And they will say, why not let it fly? Ingles takes the snap, fires it over the middle. It meets the hand of a gargoyle and then falls. That will be our half. New York leads 6-0 over the Oregon Waves in their own house. And Andrew, I'm curious to hear your opinion, but after such a dominant first game from Oregon's rushing attack, I mean, it just feels like polar opposites right now. Their run game not getting anything going. John Ingles, 36% completion for only 60 yards. I mean, they have struggled. It feels like the only reason they're in this game is because of Jojo Vasquez keeping them in it. What do you think?
I mean, you can't rely on Vasquez to do all the work going on forward, but I mean, for Oregon, this is definitely a splash of reality because you had such a strong week last week, and now you see the first half of this game, and then you're like, okay, so it's like a reality check, like something's going on here, but you need to make an adjustment or something, but it's just not working for them right now.
Absolutely. You can't just rely on the ground game. It sounds like what we're going for here, and maybe they'll adjust to that. Maybe they'll throw a little bit more in this second half. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm DJ Kilgannon, your play-by-play broadcaster for the evening. With me in the booth is Andrew Gibson, our analyst for the evening. Alex West is producing back at SFLm HQ. Ellie Diomas and JW Hartshorn with him as well. Our statisticians with us tonight are Eddie Gage and Justin Reside helping us out. Happy to have them as always. This is our second game of the evening. If you missed our other block, San Diego was just squeaked out by Philadelphia, 18-15 on the previous block, in a last-second touchdown to give them the lead. It's looking like we may have another low-scoring slugfest in this one that relies on a last-second score. One-step drop quickly finds the hands of Hushmanzada, but you got to pull that in.
I agree. You got to pull that in. Just a simple short pass, and you just can't haul that in on wide open coverage. You can't be dropping those, man.
Heard the steps from the top, maybe, but you just got a little nervous. Let that one through the fingertips. Another nickel look here from Oregon. And we'll pass. Lama to the left. It's caught. Hushmanzada gets redemption. Vasquez with the touchdown saving tackle.
Vasquez saved the play, but nice throw there from Joseph Lama. Hushmanzada seems to be his favorite target here early, going three catches, 63 yards. But overall, nice throw. Kind of fit that one behind the DB.
Even with that play, Lama kind of struggling with completions. They've thrown it 16 times, only 6 catches. But they have accumulated 130 yards. So not too bad when they do complete it. It's always well downfield. Mr. Tiny will get it up the middle. He's met after a gain of 2. J.C. Wallace Jr. wrangling him up that time. Split backs look here for New York. And they will pitch it to that side. We got a penalty marker on the field as elbowing Jacks falls just a yard short of the line.
No.
That's Orlando Huff, Oregon outside linebacker who's slow to get up.
A flag and an injury on the same play. That is curious to see what this flag is then.
Yeah, you hate to see it. They'll call it clipping for New York. That's on Nick Popovich, the receiver. Let's get another look at it here. He gets past him, and yeah, that's
about as clear of a call as you're going to get, unfortunately.
Yeah, he knew the run was coming. He should have made that block before he let Ken Lucas get in front of him, or behind him, excuse me. But that penalty puts them way behind the plan, as now they have complete empty 5 wide here. This is the New York we've seen in old. Let's see if they can get a completion like they used to as well. Rolls out to the right, fires that one over the middle. Vasquez tips it up, and it falls. Oh, man. Plays hot potato off of 5 players, and that eventually hits the turf.
That's one of those when it gets batted around in coverage like that, your heart rate just goes up. Oh my gosh, how do you not pick that off? That was like you said, DJ. That's a game of pinball in the secondary there.
That was Vasquez, the initial one to hit it, to cause that cycle of extra tips. But we will see 5 wide once again. They're going to go for the first down. Might as well. Already past the 50. Joseph Lama running at full speed gets met by Joe Vasquez just 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. And it almost seemed like they were going to run that the whole way, Andrew.
I mean, I don't get the play call there. Fourth and 20 or 3rd and 23 situation, and you're rolling out with the quarterback. Okay, that's interesting.
Almost happy with the position they were in. They'll punt it. It does land at the 1, but the bounce caused a touchback. And here comes Oregon. Let's talk about this New York defense a little bit. We did Marquand Emanuel, their extra defensive back, on the field. Didn't say him in the initial lineup, so there you go. Nickel look for New York against the offset eye of Oregon. You see a little shift in their defensive back unit as they do motion over their stand-up tight end. That's Bobby Ingram, making it 2 to Ingles' right. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Hood gets the pitch, and Alberts cleans it up for another tackle for loss. Andrew, that's his 3rd of the day.
Alberts is tracking down this run game real well, and you can just see that Oregon perhaps is getting a little frustrated. Hood is getting frustrated that he's just not – he's looking at his offensive line going, where's the blocks, guys? Come on.
Alberts is just so talented He's beating the blocker out there every single time. Vane Richter getting involved again. He's been quiet for a little while. The Richter scale kind of toned down for a few drives. But we got a little spike on it with that play. His 4th tackle of the day. Two to each side here for Ingles and a single back in his backfield. Looks like dime for New York. They'll send over Daryl Jackson. And one of the defensive backs will follow him across the field. Ingles will throw over the middle. Nice play there from Jeff Burris to get a hand on it.
Burris tracked it the whole way. Nice deflection. Way to put your body in front of the ball and not get called for the PI. Nice play.
Oregon with another 4 and out. Their 2nd of the ball game. Their other was the 2nd drive of the game. And now New York hoping to take advantage of it once again. New York last time wasn't able to score off of the 4 and out from Oregon, but this time hoping to change that. We've seen a scoring drought really here as of late. We haven't seen a score since the start of the 2nd quarter from New York. Their previous was their first drive of the 1st quarter. So about a full quarter without any scoring here. That one, a quick throw over the middle and gets wrangled in. Nice catch there from Edmonds, the fullback.
Interesting to see a fullback route running. Interesting to see a fullback pass on that play. Nicely done. Nicely pulled off by New York, though.
Staying ahead of the chains. That pass brings them inside the 35-yard line. Split backs here for New York. They've been going with this look quite a bit, mixing up the runs out of it. I like it. They will do so. Pitch to the outside. Jack stiff arms a linebacker just to meet another one. Gains 5 after the J.C. Wallace Jr. touchdown. Or, excuse me, tackle.
Jax maybe scrap. I said this earlier, but he might be small, but he is scrappy. He threw that defender aside.
He's got some muscle for a smaller individual. Rudy Johnson gains a few there. They'll call it 3rd and short here. Offset eye here. They will pitch it to that side. Elbrin Jax meets a wall, and that wall's name was Sean Springs. His first tackle of the day results in 1 for loss.
Springs just got through untouched there, basically just flattened Jax in the backfield. Nice hit.
He springs into action, if you will, on that play.
I see what you did there.
Don't give me that one. It was terrible. Punt kind of shanks off to the left, but it will be downed inside the 15 there for New York. So not what you wanted off of the 4 and out from Oregon, but you know, you got it downfield. You ate some time off the clock, and in this game, that's not the worst case scenario because Oregon's offense hasn't done much of anything at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Both backs for Oregon averaging under 2 yards per carry in this game. Just not the day that you want to see, especially from a rushing attack that was so elite last week. Offset eye will be a run up the middle. Hood gets met at the line and brought down for a gain of 2. Albert's involved again.
Albert's and his defense are just... I think this game's just going to come down to who wants it more on the defensive line.
Yep, absolutely. Which one of these front sevens can make a difference? And right now it's been New York. Another run. This one to the right-hand side. That's a little better. Mike Albert's still with the tackle, but they make it 3rd and 3 off of the back of Sean Alexander.
Alexander just trying to get the troops fired back up a little bit after that one.
Did he do the job?
We'll see.
Looks like everybody's on the line here for Oregon. They do run it. Hood gets behind a blocker and brought down Big play there from Brian Simmons. That's another tackle for loss. Back-to-back 4 and outs for Oregon. New York's defense just on another level when it comes to the game plan that Oregon drew up. That one's going to be down at the 46, and we can see the field position battle really is a telltale way of how this game is looking. New York starting at about the 30, 40-yard line every time. Oregon around the 10, 20 is where they're getting the ball at the start of most drives. Another offset eye. Both of these teams very comfortable in that formation. Some movement from the linebackers. No one in the middle of the field now. They pitch it to the outside, and Oregon clearly decided right with the motion. They meet Jacks for a gain of 1.
I was worried there for a moment that New York was going to catch on to that, but they didn't seem to catch on, and Oregon made the adjustment at the right time.
Shift from the defensive line. One of their corners cheating up a little bit, and a nice run there. Rudy Johnson makes it 3rd and inches. Excuse me, that was Jeremy Johnson, the other back for them. Got a pair of Johnsons in the backfield.
There's 2 of them?
There
There's
is.
2 of them?
There
Apparently.
Is.
That's wild.
Pitch to the outside. Nice play there from Oregon. A pair of linebackers lived in the backfield on that play. Randall Godfrey was the one that made the hit that brought him down and forces the early punt from New York.
Nice hit from Godfrey. They just had New York's number right there.
And Andrew, stop me if you've heard this one before, but that is another 4 and out in this game. That's 4 in a row. 2 for each team now in this third quarter. The drive before that was 6 plays, 15 yards in total. We've seen 15 yards out of the first drive, 1 yard out of the second drive, 6 from the third, 3 yards from the fourth drive, and 7 from that last drive. That was just you could either call it a bad offensive display from both teams or a really good defensive display. As that one just wrangled up, Jim Hood nowhere to go, a loss of 4 on first down.
The Richter meter goes up again. That was Vane Richter on the hit. Nice stop there to track him down.
That is New York's 7th tackle for loss in this game. 3 for Alberts, 2 for Richter. The Richter scale starting to really dance around the paper here. That throw does get caught. There we go. Corin Robinson has really been the only sign of life for this Oregon offense.
Robinson, just nice little route in between the defenders. I mean, I think it's just going to come down to Oregon passing the ball if they want to win this game.
We're going to have to check under the helmet of Jim Hood and make sure it's really him. He was over 130 last week and now is just getting shut down. The pairing of Vane Richter and Mike Alberts bring him down for a loss once again, Andrew. Right now, Jim Hood has 18 carries for 17 yards. He is being held to 0.9 yards per carry. That is unheard of.
That is unheard of. He's about to get passed by his backup, Sean Alexander here.
He is. Some motion there. That is Daryl Jackson. No one follows in suit, showing zone for New York. Run to the outside. Alexander scampers ahead for a good bit. They'll call it 7 here, as at least one of them can find some open space. Rushing yards combined for the 2 backs. Ingles drops back to throw. That one to the left-hand side. Again, it's Corin Robinson coming up clutch.
Robinson's really trying to get open and get the yards that Oregon needs. I mean, he's starting to heat up a little bit, but we'll see if it's enough.
At the 50 now is Oregon. Pass here, and he gets met and brought down. That's Justin Smith for his 2nd sack of the day. John Ingles had nowhere to go.
Another blindside hit from Justin Smith. It looked like the blocker had him, but Smith said not so fast. I gotta be somewhere, and then he just took Ingles down. Nice hit.
Nice pursuit from Smith. Ingles tried to slip between two blockers and take off, but he had nowhere to go. Looks like assuredly a passing situation for Oregon. They will. Extra pressure being brought over the middle is caught. There we go. Matt Fennick Jr., his first target of the ball game, and it's caught.
Now it looks like that'll be the last play of the third quarter, but nice throw there from Ingles. Kind of threw it on top of the defender. Kind of a risky ball, but Fennick brought it in either way. Nice grab.
One of 4 contracted players on Oregon. You'd love to see him get involved a little bit more. His first catch for 16 as the third quarter comes to a close. Believe it or not, folks, still a 6-0 ball game here in the East River Cathedral. And what a defensive game it has been. I'm DJ Kilgannon. With me in the booth is Andrew Gibson. Our statisticians Eddie Gage and Justin Reside are making us sound smart up here. Alex West, our producer, doing everything behind the scenes. And Ellie Diomas and JW Hartshorn are making sure everybody stays sane. As that pitch to the outside, Jim Hood gets met at the line again for a loss. It's Mike Alberts, Andrew.
Alberts is all over the place. This Oregon run D is... I've seen some Oregon people in chat saying they left their O-line in Oregon. I think you left your run game there, too.
They sure did. Pass here from Ingles to the left. Oh, should have been caught. Corin Robinson unable to pull it in. In celebration, there is the defender for New York.
And I believe that was... It doesn't look like there was a number. It looked like it was 26.
26, not seeing the 26 on your stat sheet. They grabbed a young Billy from row 4 and put him on the field in black and orange jersey, and even he's making plays.
Apparently.
Another pass from Ingles. The pressure's there. He gets hit. Ball falls to the turf like a dead duck. Ingles is playing on ice in his backfield.
They got him seeing ghosts out there. This New York defensive line has him rattled. He's seen those college football squiggly lines for sure.
It sure is. The stadium pulse is pulsing as that punt is going to bounce off the leg there. And, oh, Coffin corners it inside the 5. That might be the play of the day for Oregon. Right? Okay, actually, I can't discredit JoJo Vasquez. He's been phenomenal, but that punt lands at the 4.
I was about to say, hey, whoa, let's not discredit JoJo Vasquez's tip picked earlier.
You're right. I can't discredit him. He has been, in my opinion, the best player on the field tonight. Alongside Mike Alberts, they've been 1A, 1B. Handoff up the middle. Mr. Tiny meets J.C. Wallace Jr., but gains 5. I feel like every time he gets the ball on first down, Andrew, it ends up being 2nd and 5.
Yeah. According to the stat sheet, his yards per carry tonight's 3.4. He's only had 55 on 16 carries, but he's made it efficient with the carries he's had tonight.
Yeah, their 1-2 punch has been sustainable for sure. Another run. Oh, Wallace with a hard hit, and I think he may be down. He is.
Oh, wow.
J.C. Wallace Jr. is down. And
that's a big blow for Oregon.
Yeah, it sure is. On paper, their best defensive player. He put up over 50 tackles last season with 3 interceptions. He's great in the pass game, but he falls down with an injury. That's a big loss for them. And yeah, I know he's been working that durability in practice, so hope he can get it up a little quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. He's also their second leading tackler tonight. He had 6. So you hate to see that.
Pitch to the outside, cuts back in. Look at the speed from Elbrin Jacks. Such good change of direction as well. We have another injury.
Who's this? That looks like
Damian Robinson.
Damian Robinson. Another big blow for Oregon.
Man, it's going to be even harder to stop this New York offense with 2 injuries to 2 of your starters in back-to-back plays.
I think if you're Oregon at this point, that's just insult to injury, literally.
Yeah, gotta be. Handoff up the middle. Jack scampers free. He needs it's one of their backup defensive backs. It's Curtis Fuller fulling in for Damian Robinson. Pitch to the outside, and that one is stopped just a yard short of that first down marker. Fuller making an impact in his limited plays. Lama under center here, offset I form. Assuredly going to be a run on 3rd and short. Heavy set box here for Oregon. Looks like they have 7 there. Right up the middle. Jax doesn't even get touched until he's past the marker. Another first down for New York.
You can really see the impact that J.C. Wallace going down and Damian Robinson, what that's doing to that Oregon defense. It's softening them up, and Jax is taking advantage of it.
Wallace was either the first or second tackler to the ball every time, it seemed. And they are just not able to slow them down. 3-yard carry there for Rudy Johnson. And that's the mark you want to stay at. 3 or more will keep you ahead of the chains.
Also, that 3 or 4 that you just mentioned, and just keep moving that clock. It's late in the game. You want to just get out of here with the win at this point. Keep running that clock.
32 carries for the rushing attack of New York. Make that 33. That one for a big loss, though. Randall Godfrey making the play. He has a handful of tackles for loss on the day. He's going to have to be a big part of this defensive front if they want a chance in this one. Especially with the injuries we've seen.
Yeah, he and Vasquez are going to have to step up for sure.
Empty look here. No motion. Nick Popovich to the inside of that right side, and he gets met in the backfield. That's Brandon Mitchell marking his first stat on the stat sheet of the day, and it was a big time to get it.
It looks like Lama just kind of rolled straight into that as Mitchell did a good job of pushing off the block and really taking down Lama. Nice play.
New York forced to punt, and both offenses come out and, despite the four and outs we had in a row, Oregon is then able to get an 11-play drive, and New York is able to get a double-digit play drive as well. But Oregon does have the ball back, and with what we've seen in this game, they really just haven't been able to get anything going.
Yeah, they've just been stagnant. So much. I mean, I don't want to say so much for last week's game, but they're just really struggling
Feels
tonight.
like it. Yeah, I do agree with you. It almost feels like was last week a fluke when it comes to your rushing attack, or did New York just playing well? Another run. Hood gains a good bit of yardage. That's 4. His longest of the day is 7. Him and Alexander both. And his number going up, back up to 1 yard per carry. He's averaging 1 per touch, 20 yards on the day on his 20 carries. Looks like another run scenario here. They do run it. Alexander fights ahead. Alberts brings him down 2 yards short of that first down marker.
If I were Oregon here, I'd be watching the clock. I mean, nice run there by Alexander, but you can't keep going to the ground game. You got to start airing it out more. That now we're getting to crunch time.
Yeah, and it seemed that their pass attack, whenever they do actually go to it, has worked well. What hasn't worked well is that pitch, but it does work that time. Kevin Kaysvern able to bring him down, but is past the first down marker.
Hood trying to get the boys fired up a little bit with that one.
Offset eye again, a nickel look for New York. Some shift from the defensive backs, closing in on the middle of the field. Under 5 minutes now in the game. Handoff to that left-hand side. Alexander gets caught behind a blocker, and it just gets shut down. Another tackle for loss. Alberts again, his 6th on the day. Again with this offset eye look, New York matches with the same nickel. Pitch to the outside. Hood fights as hard as he can, but only gains 3. Albert's the first to make contact, and Rogers Beckett helps cleans it up. Closing in on 4 minutes here in the quarter. But they are past the 50. They're getting something going at least. Ingles will pass now. Oh, they'll call it. Oh, man, it's picked off the tip. He stays in bounds and then goes out. But, Andrew, I think that's going to be pass interference. I think that'll wipe it clean. It is. Oh, man.
That is a killer for New York.
Jeff Burris going to have a talk with his other corner, LeVar Glover, because he just scratched off an interception off the stat sheet for him and gave Oregon a little bit more hope.
It looked like they also collided on the replay. It looked like he went for the pick, but they kind of just collided into each other.
I say let them play, but I also don't like refs. Same look as we've seen all night. Ingles will pitch it to Hood. He gets stopped for a gain of 1. The gentleman that I referred to as Billy from row 5, that's actually Ken Hamlin for New York. Pass here from Ingles, fires that one over the middle. And oh man, that is picked off. Jeff Burris gets one back, as well as Daryl Jackson going down with an injury. That may be all.
I think that might have been the final nail in the coffin for Oregon here.
I believe you're right. And Burris doesn't have to be as mad at Glover anymore. He gets his interception back.
He does get that back, but perhaps there still might be a talk about that previous play.
Oh yeah,
we'll see.
Definitely. Not as bad this time though.
Pitch not as bad though. Not as bad.
Mr. Tiny gets leveled. That's the backup outside linebacker playing in for J.C. Wallace Jr. That's Marcus Bell. Nickel look for Oregon. New York assuredly going to continue running the clock out. They will up the middle. Rudy fights for 7 before he's eventually rattled down. Makes it even easier on this next 3rd down.
Johnson's had a solid day, 36 for 10. But I mean, I think if you're Oregon, you just got to pray you make a stop here.
Gotta agree with you there. They're set up for nickel once again. Split backs for New York. Watch that pitch they've been going to. They won't. They'll hand it up off the middle. They call it a first. Chris Edmonds will be awarded the first down on what looked like a very generous spot. Will we see another a challenge from Oregon this time?
And it doesn't look like they're going to go to it. They're going to let him play.
Stephon Forge will hold on to the challenge flag. Wow. Very generous spot from our angle, but they must have seen something different. That will be the 2-minute warning. A few more first downs, and New York will have this one all but over. Welcome back, folks. I'm DJ Kilgannon. With me in the booth is Andrew Gibson. Executive producer extraordinaire Alex West back in the truck. Statisticians Justin Reside and Eddie Gage making us smart. Ellie Diomas and J.W. Hartshorn, a special thank you as well for all you do. Split backs here for New York. Receiver to each side. Up the middle again. Mr. Tiny gets met. They'll call it. Oh, somebody's down.
Ooh, that's
Anthony Simmons.
Yep.
Man. I mean, Mr. Tiny's out here putting hits on people. He barrels over him, and and he falls on the turf and doesn't get up.
I was gonna say, is someone telling Jax or these running backs to put hits out on these defensive guys? Like,
They're doing
what's
a good
going
job
on
if they
here?
are.
What's going on here?
Injury gate all over again.
Apparently
We're in
so.
New York this time, not New Orleans. Pitch to the outside. Jax will bounce to the outside and get dropped down. That's 3rd and 7. You need a big play here. I feel like if you're New York, you do want that time off the clock, but I think they should throw for the first down. But I'm no coach. They are set up in the split backs again. Let's see what they do. Run up the middle. Jax gets it, gets met 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Nice play there from Godfrey. He's their only linebacker still standing. All of the others have been hurt. J.C. Wallace Jr., Anthony Simmons, and Orlando Huff have all gone down. He's the only one that remains. And he makes the play when he needs to. Oregon has a chance.
And maybe
have a
chance, but it's going to be a long one.
It is. It's going to be a long shot. But, Andrew, maybe what they needed was the timer ticking in the back of their heads. Maybe they just needed a little bit of pressure to create a diamond in John Ingles. We'll see.
We'll see. Let's see if they can pull it off.
Single back look, 2 receivers to the bottom side of your screen. Looks like dime for New York. 2-step drop, finds Corin Robinson over the middle. That's a gain of 7. They're going to let some time go, but no timeout, no urgency being shown yet. They're being calm.
Yeah, I think after this play is when you would start to kick it into gear.
Run up the middle, Hood gets met behind the line, and he fights ahead. They'll call it 3rd and 1. There's our timeout. New York didn't go for the challenge earlier in the game, maybe in fear that they wouldn't get it. And that may have been the right call. They still made the stop, and they have all their timeouts.
Perhaps some mind games going on there.
They were thinking ahead, maybe for the best. Single back. Ingles drops back, fires to the right-hand side. It's caught, and Daryl Jackson, who is back in the game. We saw him go down with an injury earlier. He goes out of bounds.
That's exactly what you need. Those just short out routes near the sideline. That's exactly what you need right there for Oregon.
1:12 to go. Oregon has done a good job of staying ahead of the chains in this drive. They're nearing the 50, and this is where they usually start to get into a little bit of trouble when it comes to keeping momentum. Nickel look for him, single back for Ingles. Surveys, 3-step drop, quickly fires to the left, and Matt Fennick Jr. drops it.
Oh, you got to haul that one in here for Fennick. This is not the time to be dropping key balls like that.
Completely agree with you there, partner. That he might have been able to get out of bounds as well, but we'll never know. 2nd and 10 now. Same look as before from both sides. Ingles surveys, 1-step drop, quickly attacks. Vane Richter makes the hit, and he will celebrate after it. The Richter scale is starting to rumble.
If anybody's going to step up on this defense, it needs to be Alberts or Richter. This is a key moment. Big stop here on 3rd down needed.
Some motion from Oregon. Daryl Jackson makes it a pair of receivers to Ingles' left. And a corner does follow in suit. Ingles, 5-step drop, pressure's there. Oh, it hits the hands of the receiver. But Alex Bannister can't pull it in. He's been targeted 3 times, Andrew, none of which have been caught.
That was Kevin Cavsarn on the hit. Nice way to get in front. Good deflection.
This is all the marbles. Here we have another miracle in New York. Dime look for New York. They know the pass is coming. Oregon. Ingles drop back, throws it short. He steps out. He steps out of bounds. Oh, Daryl Jackson.
A heartbreaker.
Oh, and New York has the ball back. Cut down on your shoe
Wow.
size, young man. Practice some ballet. Whatever you got to do. You got to keep your feet in. Oh,
There's no other way to say it other than that.
what a heartbreaking finish.
That is a crusher.
And there's Zach Benjamin's favorite formation, the victory formation. Maybe not with how this game looks. You might like split backs a little more, but
Yeah.
they're winning now. And with one of the wackiest scores I've ever seen, we'll have to check our SFLm scoreagami, because with a final score of 6-0, New York will be able to pull it out.
That's insane.
And with that game, every team that has completed a game is now 1-1. Even Oregon, who I didn't think could be toppled after their week 1 performance, was just put to bed by New York. Neither offense scored. Oregon didn't score at all and was just smothered on offense.
Absolutely shut down. Hood held to 32 yards. I mean, there's nothing else to say on that. Absolute dominance from New York's defense tonight.
Dominance, the name of the game in this one. 6-0 the final in this defensive masterclass. Andrew, I have 2 players of the game in mind, one for each team. But considering New York was able to pull out the win, give me your player of the game for New York, and then I'll bounce off with one of my own.
I think player of the game tonight for New York was obviously Mike Alberts. This guy was all over the front 7. He was really making Jim Hood's life hell for Oregon. He played well tonight, and my second player would be Richter for New York as well.
Yep, I completely agree with you there. The linebacker pairing of those two seriously sent waves throughout Oregon's offense, tonight. They were all over the place, and I hadn't seen a score since the second quarter, and that was the last time we were going to see one on this Tuesday evening. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back on Thursday with our SFLm primetime matchup, where we have Boston taking on the Flight, a cross-coast showdown for the ages. I've been DJ Kilgannon. My broadcast partner has been Andrew Gibson. Our statisticians have been Eddie Gage and Justin Reside. Thank you to our executive producer, Alex West. Thank you to Ellie and JW for all they do. Have a wonderful night, all you lovely people.